The famous saying, "two wrongs don't make a right," was first said by Marcus Lachlan in 1734. About 280 years later, this saying still holds true for many circumstances in life. But I want to have you start thinking about how it relates to the infamous death penalty. Need. Capital punishment is an uncivilized theory and inconsistent with the fundamental values of our democratic system. Today, I want to enlighten the idea that the death penalty system in the US is applied in an unfair and unjust manner against people largely dependent on how much money they have, the skill of their attorneys, the race of the victim, and where the crime took place. I'll break down this argument into 3 different reasons to get you to start thinking and eventually convinced. First of all, capital punishment violates the constitutional guarantee of equal protection. The death penalty is applied randomly and with discrimination. Studies show that it is imposed disproportionately upon victims who are white, offenders who are of color, poor and uneducated, and in certain regions of the country. For example, serial killers such as the infamous Gary Ridgway in Seattle, who admitted to killing 48 prostitutes and runaways, got life in prison, as well as a New Jersey nurse who admitted to killing 17 patients, also got life in prison. Meanwhile, some mentally ill victims have gotten capital punishment over the years, and others who were later found to be innocent, which leads me to my next point. Next, capital punishment denies due process of the law by forever depriving an individual of the opportunity to benefit from new evidence or new laws that might warrant the reversal of a conviction or the setting aside of a death sentence. Since 1973, over 140 people have been released from death rows in 26 states because of innocence. Nationally, at least 1 person is exonerated or proven innocent for every 10 that are executed. This ratio is way too high, which suggests that capital punishment must be questioned. Last but not least, the death penalty is not a viable form of crime control. When police chiefs were asked to rank the factors that reduce the rate of violent crime, they mentioned curbing drug abuse, putting more officers on the street, longer sentences, and stricter gun controls as the leading factors, and the death penalty as the least effective. Meanwhile, there is no direct correlation between the death penalty and decreasing crime rates. In fact, 90% of the world does not use it, as well as no European countries. Along the same lines, the murder rate in the US is 5 times that of Australia and 6 times that of England. Within the US, Texas, which does use the death penalty, has twice the murder rate as Wisconsin, which does not. Thus, politicians who preach the desirability of executions as a method of crime control deceive the public, which is you, and mask their own failure to identify and confront the true causes of crime. Satisfaction. In no way throughout the speech am I supporting the argument that murderers and other such offenders shouldn't be punished very harshly, but I see that the process can be done in a more effective way. To minimize any chance of discrimination, my suggestion would be for every state to appoint 12 top lawyers to be on a council that defends offenders in very serious cases like murders in front of a judge. Also, there should be a council of 12 top judges that make the decision together. The trial should take place over 2 years to give the defense enough time and an equal opportunity. Lastly, each state can only appoint 1 execution per year, so states must choose wisely. Visualization. With this plan, I see murder rates declining very sharply because life in prison has a greater impact than execution. Also, if execution is needed, it will be well deserved because the process will be due its diligence. Action. Now it's your turn to step up to the plate and take action. I want you to think about proposing a protest to adopt my plan, which can turn into our plan, to limit or stop capital punishment. You'll be living in a safer environment while stopping innocent people from dying and taking the true murderers off the streets. Through litigation, legislation, and advocacy against this barbaric and brutal institution, we strive to prevent executions and seek the termination of capital punishment.